Hello friends, welcome to the next session of the lecture. That is, in this lecture we will study genetic engineering and genomics. So देखो ये जो चैप्टर है ना आपके बुक में से, तो ये जो चैप्टर है वो ये एक्चुअली एप्लीकेशन पार्ट है, एप्लीकेशन बायोलॉजी का ये पार्ट है। क्योंकि आप किसी भी इंडस्ट्री में जाओ, किसी भी इंस्टीट्यूट में, रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट में जाओ, या किसी भी कंपनी में आप काम करो, ठीक है, जहाँ पे बायोलॉजिकल साइंस पे या लाइफ साइंस पे या बायोटेक्नोलॉजी पे काम चलता है, ऐसे किसी भी प्लेस पे आप जाओ, वहाँ पे आपको ये जो चैप्टर है ना, उसमें जो कुछ भी टेक्निक्स मेंशन किए हैं उनका एक्चुअल यूज या परफॉर्मेंस आपको वहां पे देखने को मिलेगा। ओके, सो the principles you study or the theories you study in your syllabus or in your books, this is the practical applications of those theories. Okay, so in your chapter, uh, in this chapter, there are various techniques, various procedures, various protocols are mentioned which are performed on routine basis in various industries and various institutions. Okay, so if you are seeing your career in the field of biology or life sciences or biotechnology, you must be known of all these techniques and protocols and procedures, or you can say methodologies. Okay, so यहाँ पे जो टेक्निक्स मेंशन किए किए गए हैं ये एक्चुअली परफॉर्म किए जाते हैं कहाँ पे, तो बहुत सारे इंडस्ट्रीज में, बहुत सारे प्लांट्स में, या बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूट्स में ये जो टेक्निक्स है, ये टेक्निक्स एक्चुअली परफॉर्म किए जाते हैं to carry out various experimentations and various procedures. Okay, so in the point of view of your career, or in the point of view of your you can say job profile, this chapter is very much important and it's very much necessary. See, this does not mean that these techniques are carried out in that particular manner only. Okay, uska ye meaning nahi hai. There are various modifications which are there if you see or if you search these techniques on the internet. Okay, बहुत सारे मॉडिफिकेशंस किए गए हैं, बहुत सारे मॉडिफिकेशंस ऑलरेडी हो चुके हैं इसमें, बट if you want to study the modification of particular technique, you must know the basic principle behind it. Okay, तो अगर आपको मॉडिफिकेशन देखना है, फॉर एग्जांपल टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ पीसीआर. ओके, देयर आर वेरियस मॉडिफिकेशंस ऑफ द टेक्निक पीसीआर. ओके, बहुत सारे होते हैं, नेस्टेड पीसीआर, या नेस्टेड पीसीआर इज द वेरी मच वेरी वेल नोन मॉडिफिकेशन ऑफ पीसीआर. ओके, रिवर्स पीसीआर और दैट also known as RPCR. Okay, so RT-PCR. तो या ऐसे बहुत सारे पीसीआर के मॉडिफिकेशंस है और वो परफॉर्म किए जाते हैं. बट इफ you do not know the basic principle behind PCR, how you'll know the modification of it. Okay, so if you know the basic principle of each and every technique mentioned in this chapter, you'll get to know the modification very correctly and very precisely. Okay, so techniques are very much important to know. They have they have its own importance in the field of biology and life sciences. Okay, so study this chapter very carefully and very you can say precisely. Okay, very accurately. Okay, so techniques का chapter है, तो आपको इसके ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान देना है. Okay, is this clear? Okay, so हम क्वेश्चंस की शुरुआत करते हैं. ओके, सीन very first question. What is the question? Genetic engineering is the, okay, so which is the process which is referred as genetic engineering. Okay, so formation of new gene artificially, formation of RNA from DNA artificially, modification of genes artificially, and formation of DNA from non-DNA material. So which is the process which is referred as genetic engineering. So it is, you can say it is modification of genes artificially. Okay, so you introduce some kind of modification in the genome of that particular organism. Okay, is that clear? So I repeat, you introduce some kind of modification in the genome of that particular organism. Okay, it can be addition, deletion, okay, replacement, anything. Okay, so you modify that gene artificially. We have another word for it, manipulation. Okay, you manipulate those gene artificially. And what is the purpose of that? What is the purpose behind that? Purpose is you you make that organism to or you force that particular organism to produce the products of your desire. Okay, of your choice. Okay, सो इकोलाई बैक्टीरिया है, तो उस बैक्टीरिया के जीनोम में आप ऐसे मॉडिफिकेशंस इंट्रोड्यूस करते हो कि वो इकोलाई आपके डिजायर का, आप जो चाहे वो प्रोडक्ट वो फॉर्म करने लगता है या बनाने लगता है, या अदर वे राउंड it produces those products. Okay, but by introducing some kind of modification, um, you make that cell ready to produce those products beyond the limitation. Okay, तो आप क्या करते हो कि उसका जो एक लिमिटेड प्रोडक्शन है वो बियॉन्ड द लिमिटेशन उसका प्रोडक्शन शुरू करते हो. Okay, so this is the genetic engineering. Is it clear? So genetic engineering is the modification of genes artificially, totally in artificial conditions. Okay, so genes have some kind of limitations naturally. Okay, but by this technique, by genetic engineering, you remove these limits and your cell produces your desired products uh, limitlessly. Okay, there is no limit on the production of those products. Okay, is that clear? Okay, next. Okay, genetically engineered insulin can be obtained by, okay, so from where this insulin can be obtained? So recombinant DNA technique with the help of E. coli, two coded insulin genes separated then incorporated into bacteria, the extraction of cows and pigs pancreas, and technique not developed till now. Okay, so you know in diabetic patients there is one medication which is, you can say, recommended. Okay, so that could be an injection. Okay, that could be a tablet, or that could be some kind of liquid. Okay, so what is that? So it is genetically engineered insulin. Okay, and that insulin is obtained by, from which source? This is the question asked here. Okay, so इंसुलिन का प्रोडक्शन का जो काम है डायबिटिक पेशेंट्स में, वो कैसे हो जाता है? वो इम्पेयर्ड हो जाता है. ओके, यू कैन सर्च कि डायबिटिक पेशेंट्स में इंसुलिन का क्या प्रॉब्लम होता है. तो this question or this information you'll get on the internet. Okay, or in the textbooks also. Okay, तो ये जो इंसुलिन होता है, ये आर्टिफिशियली जो इंसुलिन हमें सप्लीमेंट किया जाता है, वो कहाँ से मिलता है? ओके, सो दिस इज द क्वेश्चन. सो व्हाट्स द आंसर? आंसर इज रिकॉम्बिनेंट डीएनए टेक्निक विद द हेल्प ऑफ ई कोलाई. ओके, इसमें क्या किया जाता है? द जीन्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ इंसुलिन आर incorporated into the genome of that E. coli. Okay, and that E. coli cell will produce insulin for you in the cell environment of its own. Okay, तो इंसुलिन जो होता है वो आपके लिए ई कोलाई सिंथेसाइज करने लगेगा. ओके, एंड यू विल develop a whole production plant of insulin. Okay, and you will use the E. coli as the production source. Okay, and when a minimum amount of insulin is accumulated, or a critical amount of insulin is accumulated in the reaction mixture, okay, then you will harvest that insulin, you will purify it, and you will sell it, okay. So this is the process which is followed for the production of, or you can say for the manufacturing of various proteins, various hormones, various products, various vitamins also, okay. So all these fermented products are designed by the recombinant DNA technique with the help of some or other bacteria. So the answer is recombinant DNA technique with the help of E. coli. Okay. Now our third question is, trade name of genetically engineered insulin is. So what is the trade name of genetically engineered insulin? So your each and every medicine or tablet or liquid or anything, okay. So all these pharmaceutical products has a specific trade name, okay. तो ये ट्रेड नेम क्या होता है? ये ट्रेड नेम ऐसा नाम होता है जिस नाम से ये जो मेडिसिन होते हैं वो सेल किए जाते हैं, ओके. Or when you go to the doctor, okay, so that doctor will prescribe that particular medicine by this trade name, okay. So insulin is genetically engineered with the help of recombinant DNA technology by the use of E. coli, and that particular insulin has the trade name. So this is the question, okay. So which is the trade name of insulin? So answer is Humulin. Okay. So Humulin, by the name of Humulin, this insulin is sold. Okay. Is it clear? Is this clear? तो ये एक्चुअली इसके पीछे क्या होता है, तो लॉजिक होता है. ओके, चलो. नाउ we'll see the next question. Branch dealing with genetic engineering is, okay. So the branch of genetic engineering is known as, so eugenics, euthenics, euphenics, and none of this. So always remember, the branch dealing with genetic engineering is eugenics, okay. So when you'll see the meaning of u, the u prefix is used for the word true, okay. See, eukaryotes, okay, eukaryotes is the word which you are knowing. So eukaryotes, karyos means nucleus and u means true, okay. So u is the word used for the word true, okay. So this is the Greek word, I think, yes, this is the Greek word. And meaning of this eu, okay, u is true. So true genetics, okay, genetics means genetics, okay, study of heredity, okay. So true genetics is the eugenics, and this is the branch which deals with the genetic engineering, okay. Is this clear? Now next question. Okay, biolistics, okay. So biolistics, ये word आप ध्यान में रखिए. So biolistics, that is gene gun, is suitable for. So actually this the appearance of this instrument is like a gun, okay. You can search our internet regarding this. So what are the options? Introducing rDNA into plant cells, introducing rDNA into animal cells, disarming the pathogen vectors, and DNA fingerprinting. So what is the meaning of rDNA? So rDNA is nothing but the recombinant DNA. Okay, is this clear? Recombinant DNA. So देखिए कि recombinant DNA, what does it mean? कि जो native DNA है, जो original DNA है, उसमें आपने कुछ तो change किया है. Okay, you have introduced some kind of modification in the DNA, and that the DNA is called as recombinant DNA. Okay, combination हुआ है इसमें, तो thus it is called as recombinant DNA. Okay, and this gene gun is suitable for which of the following technique? So what is the answer? Answer is A. Introducing rDNA, that is recombinant DNA, into plant cells. Actually, this technique is used for the means if you want to insert recombinant DNA into any cell, you can use this technique. Okay, but in case of plant cells, this is widely used. So, what can be the reason behind that? This gene gun uses a lot of electrical impulse to create pores on the cell membrane. Okay, so if you want to introduce the gene or if you want to introduce recombinant DNA into the cell, you have to make pores on the cell membrane. Okay, and if consider this plant cell, it has a thick cell wall also. Okay, so by the use of gene gun, it becomes very easy to introduce this recombinant DNA into that cell. Okay, so that's why this instrument or this technology, that is biolistics, and the instrument, the gene gun, is suitable for introducing rDNA into plant cell. See, if you want to use this gene gun for introduction of rDNA into animal cells, what will be happen? Okay, what will happen? So क्या होगा कि plant cell को sorry animal cell को cell wall नहीं है. Okay, it has only cell membrane. Though that cell membrane is selectively permeable, it has some kind of delicate structure, and if you introduce a large amount of force over it, there is a possibility of disruption of that cell. Okay, so that's why this gene gun is used in case of plant cells specifically. Okay, or more commonly you can say. Okay, is this clear? Chalo. Next question. In genetic engineering experiments, restriction enzymes are used for. Okay, so restriction enzymes are the enzymes which cut the DNA. Okay, so they are used for viral DNA, bacterial DNA, eukaryotic DNA, and any type of DNA. So, what could be the answer? Just think over it. So, answer is any type of DNA can be restriction digested by the restriction enzymes. Okay, so you can make fragments of any kind of DNA by the use of restriction enzymes. Okay, restriction endonucleases. Okay, so what does that enzyme do? These enzymes cut the DNA onto the specific region. Okay, so this is the function of these restriction endonucleases enzymes. Okay, is that clear? Chalo, next. The DNA fragments produced by the use of restriction endonucleases can be separated by. Okay, so you have fragmented the DNA into small fragments near about 100 200 nucleotide fragments. Okay, you have restricted that in DNA. Okay, you have the short pieces of DNA. Okay, so what you will be doing next? So what is the next step? So you have to separate or you have to rearrange all these fragments. Okay, and this you can say this procedure can be done by which of the following technique? So polymerase chain reaction, that is your PCR, gel electrophoresis, density gradient centrifugation, and any of the above. So what do you think? Which can be the methodology used for this procedure? So polymerase chain reaction does nothing but it extends or it makes billions of copies of your DNA sample. Okay, so this is the only function of polymerase chain reaction. Then density gradient centrifugation, what does it do? It will separate your mixture according to the density of the particles. Okay, so in your mixture, there are various particles are present, and according to their individual densities, density gradient centrifugation will separate them according to their gravities. Okay. And gel electrophoresis, so what does it do? Gel electrophoresis is the actual technique which is responsible for the separation of the restricted fragments of the DNA. Okay. So in gel electrophoresis, by the technique or by the principle of the charge and uh, or you can say charge attraction and repulsion, it will be separated by the electrophoresis. So you will introduce, or you will expose some amount of current to the separating fragments, and according to their mass charge ratio, those fragments will separate onto the agar agarose gel. Okay. So this technique is used for the separation of fragments produced by the restriction endonucleases. Okay, is this clear? Next, plasmids in bacterial cells are. So what is the nature of plasmids present in the bacterial cells? So extra chromosomal DNA which cannot replicate, extra chromosomal DNA which can self-replicate, extra DNA associated with the genome, and extra DNA associated with the genome but cannot be replicated. So what should be the answer? Just think. So if you see the structure of plasmid present in the bacterial cell, these are the genome of that plasmid. Okay, so the gene set of that plasmid has no relation with the chromosomal DNA. So you can say it is the extra chromosomal DNA. So it is extra chromosomal DNA, you can say. Okay. Another part I want to say is that okay, progeny or daughter cell will have plasmid. Okay, so if parent cell has plasmid, the daughter cells will also have the presence of plasmid in it. Okay, so what is the mechanism of replication of that plasmid? Okay, so it is self-replicated only when it has the original origin of replication, and that origin of replication is known as replicon. Okay, that origin of replication is known as replicon. It is the unit of replication. Okay, is it clear? And if a particular plasmid has that replicon in the genome of that plasmid, okay, so you will observe that that plasmid can be self-replicated. Okay, so the plasmid is extra chromosomal DNA and which can be self-replicated. Okay, is it clear? So answer is B. Plasmids in bacterial cells are uh, extra chromosomal DNA which can be self-replicated. Okay, is this clear? Okay, now we'll see next question. The DNA polymerase enzyme used in PCR is obtained from. Okay, so PCR is the beautiful technique, and you should know what is the principle behind the PCR. Okay, so आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि क्या उसके पीछे ये होता है, क्या होता है, लॉजिक होता है, तो ये आपको अच्छे से पता होना चाहिए. ओके, इज इट क्लियर? तो देखो, PCR is nothing but the artificial DNA polymerization. Okay, so you get billions of copies of your DNA sample from the PCR. Okay, so which is the biological mechanism which is used in the system of PCR. Okay, if you want me this question, if you want to ask me this question, what will be the answer? So DNA polymerization is the process which is used, or you can say DNA replication is the process which is used in the PCR technique. Okay, so you know there is one enzyme which is responsible for the extension of DNA strands, and that enzyme is nothing but DNA polymerase. So there are three types of DNA polymerase: 1, 2, and 3. So we will not go in that part in deeply. Okay, so uh, in our body we have a natural DNA polymerase, but in PCR we cannot use that DNA polymerase as it is. Okay, what's the reason? The reason is in your PCR the temperature range is very much important. Okay, so temperature range is very much important and it is very critical. Okay, so you carry out the PCR reaction at higher temperature like 90 degrees centigrade, okay, 95 degrees centigrade, and enzymes are proteinaceous in nature, and at this temperature you'll find that that enzyme will be degraded, that enzyme will be disordered. Okay, so the native structure of that enzyme will get completely disturbed. Okay, so you cannot use that DNA polymerase enzyme which is used in your body for the natural DNA replication. So there is one requirement of DNA polymerase enzyme. Okay, so what is that requirement? You have to use such an enzyme which can withstand this higher temperature. So this is the requirement. So what you will be doing? So what you will do? So you have to select such an enzyme which can bear such a higher temperature. Okay, and for that matter there is one solution. There are some bacteria, you know, they are extremophiles. Okay, what is the meaning of extremophiles? They can survive in the extreme environments, and one of these extreme environment is lava of the you can say volcanoes. Okay, so or you can say hot water springs. Okay, so these bacteria can survive at such you can say such a extreme conditions. Okay, so there is one bacteria which is no the name of that bacteria is Thermus aquaticus. So this bacteria you will find on the in the hot water springs sample. Okay, and the DNA polymerase present in that bacteria can be used for the PCR reactions where we are exposing the that particular enzyme to the extreme temperature range. Okay, so the polymerase extracted from that bacteria is known as Taq polymerase. Okay, it is known as Taq polymerase, and the source from which the Taq polymerase is extracted, that source is a bacteria, and name of that bacteria is Thermus aquaticus. Is it clear? Okay, ये आपको समझ में आया मैंने क्या बोला कि ये जो बैक्टीरिया है ये बहुत ही एक्सट्रीम एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशन में सरवाइव कर सकता है, और उसके पीछे जो कुछ भी ये है, जो कुछ भी लॉजिक है वो ये है कि उसका डीएनए पॉलीमरेज जो है वो क्या है, इस टेम्परेचर को वो एक्सपोज कर सकता है, इस टेम्परेचर को वो बियर कर सकता है. It can tolerate that temperature. Is it clear? Okay. So this was all about the Thermus aquaticus, which is used in the PCR, which is the source of the polymerase enzyme, that is Taq polymerase, which is used in PCR for the DNA extension. Okay, chalo next. While isolating DNA from bacteria, which of the following enzyme is not used? Okay, so lysozyme, ribonuclease, deoxyribonuclease, and protease. So in PCR, which of the following enzyme is not used? So answer is lysozyme. So lysozymes are not used for the any of the step of PCR, where ribonucleases are used, deoxyribonucleases are used. Okay, proteases are used. Okay, chalo next. significance of heat shock method in bacterial transformation is to facilitate. So first of all, what is bacterial transformation? See, transfer of one gene from one bacteria to another is known as bacterial transformation. So it is the horizontal gene transfer. So there are two methods of gene transfer. One is horizontal gene transfer and another is vertical gene transfer. Okay, so vertical gene transfer means the gene transfer from parent to offspring. Okay, so it is the hereditary technique. Okay, the daughter cells receive the genetic trait from its parent. So it is vertical gene transfer. But what is the horizontal gene transfer? So transfer of gene from cell to cell. It is known as horizontal gene transfer. In that, transformation is included, or you can say transposons are included. Okay, is it clear? So these are the some kind of phenomenon in which horizontal gene transfer takes place. So transformation is the horizontal gene transfer. Okay, so transfer of particular gene from one cell to another cell. Okay, so heat shock method में क्या किया जाता है? So artificial transformation, this heat shock method is used. So what are the options? Binding of DNA to the cell wall, uptake of DNA through membrane transport protein, then uptake of DNA through transient pores in the bacterial cell wall, and expression of antibiotic resistance gene. So in artificial transformation, we try to make the cell compatible to accept the gene from the one cell. Okay, so for that matter, it is very necessary that in the cell membrane of that particular cell there should be some entry. Okay, there should be some door. Okay, and that door will be formed by the pores on in the cell membrane. Okay, and in heat shock method, what is carried out in heat shock method, what is done कि वो जो बैक्टीरिया होता है ना, अगर वो चेंजिंग एनवायरनमेंट फेस करे, मतलब अभी बहुत हॉट है और अभी कूल हो गया, ओके, सडनली हॉट सडनली कूल, ओके, तो ये ऐसा हो गया ना तो सेल को शॉक मिलता है, और इस शॉक से क्या होता है, कभी कभी सेल मेम्ब्रेन के ऊपर के जो पोर्स होते हैं ना वो ओपन हो जाते हैं. ओके, एंड दैट इज एक्चुअली डन इन हीट शॉक मेथड. ओके, आया समझ में? सो significance of heat shock method in bacterial transformation is to facilitate uptake of DNA through transient pores in the bacterial cell wall. Okay, is that clear? What is the significance of heat shock method? Okay, next. Which of the following steps are catalyzed by Taq polymerase in a PCR reaction? So now we know what is Taq polymerase. So Taq polymerase जो enzyme है वो exactly कौन से steps catalyze करता है? So denaturation of template DNA, annealing of primers to template DNA, extension of primer end on the template DNA, and all of the above. So what is the significance or what is the use of Taq polymerase in PCR system? So the use of Taq polymerase is extension of primer end on the template DNA. Okay, so this is the function of the Taq polymerase. Is it just expands the it just expands the DNA strand. Okay, next. Which of the given statement is correct in the context of observing DNA separated by agarose electrophoresis? So which of the following statement is correct? So DNA can be seen in visible light. DNA can be seen without staining in visible light. Ethidium bromide stained DNA can be seen in visible light. Ethidium bromide stained DNA can be seen under exposure to UV light. Okay. So answer is ethidium bromide stained DNA can be seen under exposure to UV light. Always remember when you are using ethidium bromide for the coloring of the separated molecules, you have to observe that molecule under the exposure of UV light that cannot be seen under the visible light. Okay, always remember. Is it clear? And if you want to use another dyes for it, for this purpose, then probably you can see that your DNA onto the visible light by your naked eyes. Okay, is it clear? Just read all the options carefully. Okay, next. Restriction. In restriction enzymes refer to. So what is the meaning of restriction? So options are cleaving of phosphodiester bond in DNA by the enzyme, cutting of DNA at specific position only, prevention of the multiplication of bacteriophage in bacteria, and all of the above. So what should be the answer? तो restriction का meaning क्या होता है? What is the meaning of restriction? So restriction is nothing but the cutting of DNA at specific position only, and endonucleases family enzymes do this job. Okay, but the restriction meaning the cutting at specific sites. Okay, तो restriction endonuclease आपने incorporate किया तो उसका meaning ये नहीं होता है कि वो कहाँ भी कट करता है DNA, ऐसे नहीं होता है. At specific sites only it will cut the DNA into fragment. Okay, clear? So restriction enzymes का function यही होता है कि cutting of DNA at particular site or at particular specific site. Okay. Next, the role of DNA ligase in the construction of recombinant DNA molecule is. So DNA ligase का role क्या होता है? Okay. Formation of phosphodiester bond between two DNA fragments, formation of hydrogen bonds between sticky ends of DNA, then yes, DNA fragments, ligation of all purine and pyrimidine bases, and none of the above. So what could be the answer? Answer is formation of hydrogen bonds between sticky ends of DNA fragments. Okay, so this DNA ligase, DNA endonucleases, ठीक है, endonucleases DNA को कट करता है, तो DNA ligase जो होता है ना, वो DNA को join करता है. Okay, so this joining action takes place by the formation of hydrogen bonds in the internal structures of DNA. Okay, so ligases जो family है उसका job यही है कि DNA को join करना है. Okay, चलो next. In an experiment, recombinant DNA bearing ampicillin resistance gene is transferred into E. coli cells. The host cells are then cultured on a medium containing ampicillin. The result will be, okay, so your medium or your media has ampicillin in it, okay, and there are two types of cells in your hand. One is ampicillin resistant gene containing cell, which is recombinant, or you can say which is transformant, in which transformation has taken place, and other cell is a normal cell in which there is no presence of ampicillin resistant gene. So what will happen? The result will be, so option 1, both transformants and non-transformants cannot survive. Both transformants and non-transformants can survive. Transformants only and not the non-transformants can survive, and transformants cannot survive but non-transformants can not. Okay, so just think for 2 minutes for this question. Okay, then we will see the answer. Just think over it. So what could be the answer in this case? Okay, situation क्या है कि you have two types of cells in your hand. Okay, so one is the cell which is recombinant cell. Okay, and that cell has gene for the resistance of ampicillin. Okay, and other cell is the cell in which that cell doesn't contain the resistant gene for ampicillin. Okay, so your media means the growth environment of the cell has the presence of ampicillin in it. So what will be the scenario? So कौन survive करेगा? So this is the question, and just think what could be the answer. Okay, we'll see the answer. Answer is C. Transformers only and not non-transformers can survive. Okay, सिर्फ ट्रांसफॉर्मर्स जो होंगे ना वही सरवाइव कर सकेंगे. ओके, और नॉन ट्रांसफॉर्मर्स जो है वो सरवाइव नहीं कर सकेंगे. सो व्हाट विल बी द व्हाट कैन बी द रीजन बिहाइंड इट? Transformers has the presence of ampicillin resistant genes. Okay, so मीडिया में ampicillin है, फिर भी क्या होगा कि वो सरवाइव कर सकेंगे बिकॉज इट कैन रेजिस्ट दैट एम्पिसिलिन. ओके, बट नॉन ट्रांसफॉर्मर्स में क्या केस है? एम्पिसिलिन रेजिस्टेंट का ये नहीं है. क्या नहीं है? जीन नहीं है. तो व्हेन यू कल्चर दैट नॉन ट्रांसफॉर्मर्स onto the media containing ampicillin, that those bacteria will not be able to survive. Okay, is this clear? So this will be the scenario of transformants and non-transformants in the ampicillin containing media. Okay, आपको समझ में आया? आप इसका फ्लो चार्ट भी बना सकते हो. So okay, तो आपको ये कंसेप्ट अच्छे से समझ में आ जाएगी. Okay, चलो नेक्स्ट. Okay, which of the following is not a carcinogen? So what is the meaning of carcinogen? Carcinogens are the substances which cause cancer. Okay, cancer causing substances are known as carcinogens. Okay, so X-rays, virus, HNO2 and starch. So there are various types of the carcinogens: chemical carcinogens, biological carcinogens, physical carcinogens, etc. So X-rays comes under the physical carcinogen, viruses come under the biological carcinogen, and HNO2, the chemical, it is the chemical, okay, nitric acid. So it comes under the chemical carcinogen. Okay, so starch is not a carcinogen. Okay, whereas all these three are the carcinogens. They can cause cancer if the cell is exposed to these substances frequently. Okay, is this clear? So answer is starch. Okay, then oncogenic viruses are harmful in. So what is the meaning of oncogenic viruses? So those viruses which can cause cancer are known as oncogenic viruses. Okay, so there are stages of the growth of viruses. Okay, you might be knowing this. So there are various stages of the growth of the viruses. Okay, so in which stage oncogenic viruses are harmful? So this is the question. So options are provirus stage, lytic phase, prophage stage, and hybrid stage. Okay, so virology is the beautiful branch of biology in which all this study is there. Okay, so answer is provirus stage. Okay, क्या होता है कि there are two types, provirus stage and actual virus stage. ठीक है, so क्या होता है कि ये जो वायरस जो होता है ना वो जो perfectly assembled नहीं होता है. Okay, when this virus is not completely assembled, okay, and when there are each and every part of viral structures are not there in the assembly of virus, That structure is known as provirus stage. Okay, and when this virus is completely assembled and it has each and every part, each and every organ, that virus is known as complete virus. Okay, is it clear? And when there is a subject of oncogenic virus, you will observe that this provirus is the most dangerous situation. Okay, they are very much important uh, by the in the history, or you can say disease development of cancer. Okay, is this clear? Chalo, next. Hmm. Thalassemia is an example of, so we have studied the thalassemia, patterns of thalassemia, and what is the transmittance logic of the thalassemia. All these theories or all these topics we have studied. Okay, so which is the thalassemia is an example of mutation, silent mutation, frame shift mutation and genetic disorders. So उसमें क्या होता है, थैलेसीमिया में क्या होता है exactly? So it is an example of frame shift mutation. तो actually आपको पता है कि जीनोम जो होता है वो ट्रिप्लिकेट्स में होता है. ओके okay? और ऐसा कुछ होता है कि उसमें जो कुछ भी जीएनए का टेम्पलेट है ना, मतलब जो टेम्पलेट नहीं, जो कुछ भी कोड है थ्री का, मतलब थ्री न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स का जो ट्रिपलेट बोलना था मुझे, जो कुछ भी ट्रिपलेट था ना, तो उसमें अगर एक भी जगह पे म्यूटेशन आ गया तो पूरा का पूरा वो जो फ्रेम है तीन 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 का, वो पूरा डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है, एंड दैट इज नोन एज फ्रेम शिफ्ट म्यूटेशन. ओके, इज इट क्लियर? So thalassemia is an example of frame shift mutation. Okay, chalo, next. In gene therapy, DNA is inserted in a cell to compensate for. So gene therapy में exactly क्या किया जाता है? DNA क्यों insert किया जाता है cell में? Okay, क्या compensate किया जाता है exactly? So the absence of plasmid, mutant alleles, holes in the DNA made by viruses, and the lack of copy of DNA. So exactly gene therapy में DNA replace किया जाता है, पर क्यों किया जाता है? सोचिए इसके ऊपर क्या आंसर हो सकता है इसका. ओके, तो आंसर इज म्यूटेंट एलील्स. ओके, क्या होता है कि म्यूटेशंस होता है, म्यूटेशंस होते हैं सेल के जीनोम में. ओके, and when these mutations occur we will get a phenotypic result of it. Okay, means kuch we will be suffered by some or other kind of disorders because of it. Okay, so our visual you can say disorder is the effect of the mutation which has taken place in the cell environment. Okay, इज दिस क्लियर? तो क्या होता है कि जीन थेरेपी में जो जो म्यूटेशंस हुए हैं ना, वो क्योर करने का ट्राई किया जाता है. ओके, एंड वो जो ट्राई किया जाता है उसमें ऑफन दे यूज द जीन थेरेपी. ओके, जीन थेरेपी में क्या होता है कि जो कुछ भी म्यूटेशन है ना वो रिपेयर किया जाता है. ओके, और उसी जगह पे वो जो करेक्ट वाला न्यूक्लियोटाइड है ना वो वहां पे इंसर्ट किया जाता है. ओके, इज इट क्लियर? सो म्यूटेशन क्या होता है, म्यूटेशन रिमूव करने का ट्राई किया जाता है इसमें. ओके, इज दैट क्लियर? आंसर इज बी. ओके, नाउ we'll see the next question. Okay, so in India the DNA fingerprinting technique was developed by, so Dr. Lalji Singh was the person who developed the DNA fingerprinting technique. Okay, so सारे जो खूनी लोग हैं ना वो इन लालजी सिंह को गालियां देते होंगे, क्योंकि डीएनए फिंगरप्रिंटिंग से क्राइम्स आइडेंटिफाई करना बहुत ही इजी हो गया है. ओके, आया समझ में? सो डीएनए फिंगरप्रिंटिंग जो है उसकी शुरुआत डॉक्टर लालजी सिंह ने इंडिया में की थी। ओके, चलो नेक्स्ट। द फिंगरप्रिंट्स आर एक्चुअली, तो ये फिंगरप्रिंट्स एक्चुअली क्या होते हैं? डीएनए फिंगरप्रिंट्स मतलब एग्जैक्टली exactly क्या होता है? सो दिस इज द क्वेश्चन। ओके, सो what are these fingerprints? So options are RNA, restriction fragments, cDNA. So that C is not capital, it is small. cDNA means complementary DNA, and rDNA. So sorry, sGNA. ठीक है, तो sGNA मतलब स्मॉल डीएनए। तो फिंगरप्रिंट्स एक्चुअली क्या होते हैं, उनका नेचर क्या होता है? सो दीज फिंगरप्रिंट्स आर एक्चुअली रिस्ट्रिक्शन फ्रेगमेंट्स। ओके, आए समझ में? ओके, नेक्स्ट। Genetic marker is UNTRs, RFLP, PCR, and double-stranded DNA. So PCR you know, okay, polymerase chain reaction. RFLP you might be knowing, restriction fragment length polymorphism. UNTR, so what are the UNTRs and VNTRs? So these are the genetic markers. These are the small fragments of DNA. Okay, repeating fragments of DNA. They are the tandem repeats. Okay, so these repeats are the sequences which occur repeatedly in your genome. Okay, and क्या होता है कि अगर आपको कैंसर जैसा कुछ डिसीज है तो you will see some kind of alteration in these repeats. Okay, and that is the you can say the indicator of the disease occurrence. Okay, so that is used as genetic marker. This type of alteration is seen in the repeats, then there is some kind of problem in the genome. That means there is some kind of disease present in the body. Okay, so this type of diagnosis can be done by the study of UNTRs. Okay, okay, is this clear? Now next question. The human being has about dash genes according to HGP. So what is HGP? It is nothing but Human Genome Project. So कितने genes है according to Human Genome Project? So 20,000, 40,000, 85,000 and 1 lakh. कितने genes present है human beings में? So answer is 40,000. Okay, there are 40,000 genes which are present in the human body. Okay, chalo next. And this is the last question. Dash is the best and safe technique to test polio vaccine. So options are transgenosis, gene therapy, DNA fingerprinting, and isolation. Okay. So the resistant polio gene is developed or not, that can be studied by the transfer of gene into the another cell, and that is done in the technique of transgenosis. Okay, transfer of gene from one cell to another cell. Okay, so this was all about the first session of this chapter, that is genetic engineering and genomics. Okay, so there are 25 questions more. Okay, we will continue those questions in the next session. Okay, so till then read the chapter carefully, study the each and every technique carefully. Okay, if you want you can search those techniques on the internet. There is a vast material available on the internet, okay, regarding these techniques and procedures. Okay, so do visit the various sites, various research papers in which these techniques are mentioned. Okay, so see you in the next session In next session, we will continue the next 25 questions. Okay. So till then, study the chapter carefully. Okay. See you in the next session. So thank you so much and all the best.